Hey everyone, nice to have you here. I'm your girl Erica, coach and meditation instructor, and today we're going to talk about 10xing your confidence. If you missed last week's episode, please, I encourage you to take a look at it. Last week I talked about the 3 keys around the innate aspect of confidence, not anything that you have to go out and find, but the true essence of confidence that exists within you. This week, we're going to kick it up a notch, right? Kick it up a notch, talk about how do you maximize this thing called confidence and still not act outside of who you really are, just increasing that internal essence of who you are, showing up in the world more powerfully. My intention for each and every session is to make them simple, easy, and effortless. Because when you see these sessions as being simple, easy, and effortless, then you'll come back again and you'll invite others that you know to our weekly sessions. For those of you that are new, each week we talk about a mindful topic, things that may relate to you in this current moment, or something that you've been through, or perhaps something that you have no idea you will be experiencing later on. After each session, we tie it into breath work, and I guide you into a meditative practice. And then we wrap up our session. So the 3 keys today around 10xing your confidence are, number 1, is to own your narrative. Own your narrative. Number 2 is mindset mastery. And number 3 is body mastery. Really important. And I'll explain what each one is in a moment. Welcome. Thank you for coming. Nice to see a new face to today's session. So the first key for today is own the narrative. Own your narrative. And what do I mean by that? Well, last week, as I mentioned, I talked about the innate aspect of confidence. Not anything that you have to go out and do or find, but accessing what already exists within you. The essence of who you are and how to tap into that gift and to maximize it. And how to use your gifts and talents in a way that serves humanity. So as we own our narrative, it means that we know what we stand for. It means that we know who we are. And at the foundation of all of that, the way that we show up in life becomes extremely different. We begin to show up with more authenticity, not trying to be like anyone else other than who we really are. That is a person that exudes supreme confidence. So as we look at this thing called owning our narrative, we have to understand that there's this self-talk that we as human beings have. It's that voice in the back of our mind that says, hey, are you living your truth? Hey, are you doing what you're called to do? In owning your narrative, it means that you also are showing up in this world with great purpose. No longer wasting your time, but actually maximizing it because you're doing what you absolutely love. You're saying what you absolutely know to be true. And you're not waiting for anyone else's approval on how you show up. And not waiting on anyone else's approval on what you say. Which leads me into my own personal journey around confidence. As I look at this thing called confidence, I admire the women that boldly show up in the world. Those women that you just want to glean in their direction. You just want to rub shoulders with that person to feel the essence of who they are and what makes them be this dynamic human being. There are many people that I have seen in my life, experienced in my life, and I would often think then as a young woman, how do they do that? Where does that come from? You see, during those early years of my life, I was still trying to figure out who I was. I was trying to attach myself onto someone else's dream and vision that I didn't really realize that that was going against my own greatest self. Sometimes in life, we wonder if this thing called confidence is actually something that we have, especially if we've been through some stuff, right? How many of us have been through some stuff and we've questioned if who we are is even something that is obtainable, who we really are? How can we overcome certain experiences, certain thoughts, certain triggers that take us outside of our best self? How do we overcome those things and still show up extremely powerful and not be bruised or battered by those experiences, but to use them as a gift to transform and improve and expand our own narrative, making a greater contribution into this world? Perhaps you know something about that. Perhaps you've either been through that, or maybe, just maybe, something in this message today rang a bell. Which leads me into key number 2, mindset mastery. In all things, if we do not master our mind, then it will, in fact, be a runaway train of episodes, stories that trigger emotions that lead us down the wrong destination. Mindset mastery is essential to 10x your confidence. And here's what I mean by mindset mastery. For all of us, we go through episodes and moments of what's called automatic negative thoughts. There's something that's been coined by Dr. Daniel Amen. Hopefully I'm pronouncing his last name correctly. It's Amen. Who mentioned this thing called ants. I'll repeat that again. Automatic negative thoughts. We all have them. Some of us master them. Some of us are overcome by them. When these triggered thoughts come into our mind, how do you stop them? How do you shift them into something that is more purposeful instead of leaving you in a situation that you wonder where the purpose beyond those thoughts are? If we can uproot and in fact understand the cause of our negative thoughts and the triggers by which they appear out of nowhere, sometimes it feels like that. The moment that we're able to understand, okay, this thought is showing up, let me give it honor. Instead of beating ourselves up, what I ask of you to do is to honor what you're feeling, not to run away from it, not to act like it's not there, and not to add to it, but to take a moment of pause to listen to what you need in this moment. Those thoughts are happening for a reason. And the more that we understand ourselves, the more that we honor what's happening to us, then we'll be able to make a change in how our thoughts show up the next time around. In mastering your mindset, you essentially master your life. Everything that we have in this moment in time was created through our own thoughts. So that means the things that we don't like that consistently show up time and time and time and time again, there is something that we are repeating that isn't working for us. And if we are experiencing some kind of pain through the things that are happening to us, then I ask that you pause. Take a moment to honor where you are and how you feel, and what kind of life do you wish to have? What kind of experiences do you wish to have? Where do you need support? Are you giving yourself support? Sometimes it takes a village to help us through some stuff. Sometimes it means that we pick up a phone and speak to a wise soul to receive some wisdom. Sometimes it means that we journal to dump whatever is in our mind and in our emotional body, to write our feelings. Sometimes it means that we take those experiences that are hurting us and turn them into art. That was what healed me. It was through writing and speaking that I realized that that is where my gift is. That I'm able to transform my pain into power through the gift of words, which is art, which is healing, which is a remedy. So what I ask of you in mastering your mindset is to understand, what is that thing for you that transforms and changes those negative thoughts into something purposeful and beautiful for you. Oh, when I tell you this mindset mastery is a thing. When I tell you this mindset mastery needs to be taught in school. When I tell you this mindset mastery can transform not only your life, but your children's life, your family's life, your friends' life, and how you show up. Others can learn through you on how to do this thing called life differently. How to do this thing called life even better than before. And maybe that's why you stopped by this morning, just to hear this one thing. Just to take a moment of pause to say, what do I do to transform my own hurt into purposeful power, and then use that power to 10x my confidence? These two keys that I just mentioned, combined with last week's episode, are powerful. Again, if you missed last week, I ask that you watch it. And then use today's session to maximize it. Which leads me to key number 3. Body mastery. Body mastery. Have you ever just watched someone speak? Or the way a person walks into a room that captivates your attention? You don't even know this person, but the way they move through life is magnetic. In fact, it's contagious. There's something about their essence that stirs your soul, moves your spirit to say, hey, I honor that. And the reason why we connect to people like that, because there's this thing within us that is the same. That is the same. I done spoke a word right now. The reason why we can appreciate the brilliance of someone else in how they move through life, show up so boldly and confidently and uniquely in their own way, is because it accesses that very thing within us to say, yes, I see you. That's why it moves us. So what they have is also what you have in your own unique, masterful, and beautiful way. Now, there are things that we can do to our body to 10x our confidence. There's something called the Wonder Woman pose. When I first heard of this, I thought to myself, you know what? I've done that pose before, even not knowing that it was a thing, but understanding what it did to my body. The Wonder Woman pose simply works like this. For those that have not heard it, is that you just take your arms, your hands, you place them on your hip. And you expand those arms. I'm trying to show you on this camera, okay? It's kind of hard because it's narrow. But you expand your chest. You open up your chest. You place your fists, right? You turn your hand into a ball, place them right here on your hip, and you expand like an eagle. In moments that you start to feel small, in moments that you feel as though you're lacking the essence of power, confidence, due to your stress, due to those negative thoughts, due to what's happening around you. Perhaps it's someone that is feeding misinformation to you that makes you feel less than worthy. I ask that you put your fists right at your hip, expand like an eagle. And here's why this works. It releases stress. And it's been scientifically shown that this body posture is a thing that works. It releases stress, rather. It releases stress, and it helps to build your confidence. And here's why. What it does is that it releases more testosterone. And that testosterone is linked to our confidence. And in addition, what it does is that it reduces the hormone of cortisol. So it's working on two hormones within the body, testosterone and cortisol. Cortisol is linked to stress, that when we're stressed, it increases in our body. This body posture actually helps to release the stress, thus releasing the cortisol and increasing the testosterone linked to confidence. What I'm saying to you is that if you haven't used this posture, just try it out. Notice the difference that it makes in how you feel, especially during moments in which you need it quick and fast. As a kid, I used to use this body posture. And it's because I loved Wonder Woman. In the 70s, now I am telling my age, I absolutely loved that show. And Linda Carter, I believe it was Linda Carter, she was the actress that played Wonder Woman. And when I tell you I love that show, I used to pretend that I was Wonder Woman. And I would place my hands on my hip as a kid because Wonder Woman did that. And that's where the name comes from, the Wonder Woman pose. It does absolutely work. And as I got older, I would notice that there were moments in which I would do that same pose. But it was during moments in which I felt stressed. And I found that this body posture released my stress. But another thing that I would do on top of that is that I would move my shoulders if it was a lot of stress and I needed to really release that stress, whether it be for a presentation, whether it be for a situation that I'm experiencing and I need to get that emotional attachment out of my body to reset my mind and reset my body into its powerful position. Then I would place my hands right there on my hip and I would shake it off, just like so. Shake it off, just like so. And it's so funny because Beyonce did that in one of her videos called Who Runs the World, Girls. Who Runs the World, Girls. Love, love, love that video. And the choreographer knew exactly what they were doing. There's always a rhyme and reason, even beyond our comprehension, for the things that we watch, see, interpret, and experience. And in that video, Beyonce places her hands right on her hip and she shakes it off like so. It was a part of the choreographic dance, of course, so we felt the moment for those of us that are familiar with that video. But it's also a powerful move, and it's something that I had used for years. So in mastering our body, we can release our attachment to the stress, and we can absolutely 10x our confidence. No doubt about it. These 3 keys that I shared with you today are powerful, and they work. They work when you work them. My intention for each and every week is to make these sessions so simple and easy that you apply them in your life now. I'm not doing this to waste my time. I'm not doing it to waste your time. I am giving you things that I have learned and know to be true. Wisdom passed down from my own family, and wisdom that I've learned in this lifetime. That I made it a pact with myself. That I wanted to leave this world better than how I entered it. I didn't want people to feel the kind of disrespect and pain that I saw others face, and also what I experienced. That I wanted people to feel supported. I wanted people to feel seen. And I hope that you feel that through each and every session that I share with you. Let's get ready to lock in and seal in today's mindful session. You are welcome. My cousin is joining me today, and I am so happy to have you, each of you. Thank you so much. So let's get ready to lock in and seal in today's session. You can turn your lights down if you'd like. I'll leave mine on, but you can turn yours on. You can also put your phone on vibrate. I do ask that you do that. Or you can turn the ringer off completely. Put it in silent mode. You want to be sure that wherever you're sitting is comfortable and easy on your body. And I've said this each and every week, that how we sit is important. We have to pay attention to what our body is feeling. And if we're feeling any pain, We want to give margin to that, create ease around that, and adjust our body in a way that makes us feel comfortable. So whether that means you grab a pillow, whether it means that you sit someplace else instead of the seat that you're on, then I ask that you do that right now. I'd like to take a moment and thank my son who's on here today too. You know, as a mother of 2 sons in their 20s, it's a beautiful thing when they enjoy to be around you. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for the bond that I have with my sons and the bond that they have with me. So, as you adjust your seated position, now I ask that you pay attention to your body posture. Pay attention to the way that you feel. I love you too, son. Pay attention to the way that you feel. Pay attention to your shoulders, especially, a place in which we oftentimes carry a lot of stress. Not even realizing that we're doing that. If you notice that you're a little tense, which actually this position looks greatly tense, doesn't it? But when we're stressed, we don't realize we tense our shoulders. Many of us do that. So I ask that you relax those shoulders. Bring awareness to your shoulders. Round out your shoulders to expand this part of your chest, right? And we'll need that expansion, especially in the diaphragm area as we breathe in, taking in all of that oxygen, right? Another area that we often carry stress is in our face. Sometimes we have lines, premature aging, based on how we carry the stress in our face. And I can say this to be absolutely true because during moments many years ago when my sons were little, I was really experiencing a lot of stress during my divorce and life after divorce, that I had no idea that I was tensing this part of my face. I walked around like this all the time, not realizing that I was doing that. And I did it so much until one day I looked in the mirror and I said, where is this line coming from? It was like a permanent line that I had created through carrying so much stress in my forehead. So I ask that you pay attention to the way your body, your face in particular, is communicating to you. It allows you to know what you're feeling and thinking and experiencing. I just ask that you give honor to yourself in this moment and adjust where necessary. If you find that you're clenching down, then I ask that you release any tension by opening your upper and lower palate of your mouth, creating some space in between your teeth, relaxing your jaws. I also ask that you bring attention to the corners of your eyes, another place that we experience stress when we squint a lot, thinking way too much, carrying all of that around our eyes. So just soften it in this moment. Soften it. And now again, bringing attention to our eyebrows, noticing if we're carrying any stress there. And just relax this part of the face. So let's get ready to breathe. We'll breathe in through our nose and we'll breathe out through our mouth. And we'll hold our breath for 4 seconds. The purpose behind this breath work is to release the stress, relax the body, and to slow down that mental chatter, that negative self-talk, whether it be about ourselves or that quiet talk, not quite quiet, while others may not hear it, it's pretty loud within us about someone else that we're holding in disregard, or perhaps an experience, a job that we're having a hard time reconciling and creating peace around. So this breath work is really essential in returning your mind and body back to harmony. So let's breathe in through the nose, expanding your diaphragm, allowing all of that juicy air inside your lungs. And now exhale, allowing the sound of your breath to relax you even more. Really essential. Let's hold the breath on 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's breathe in through our nose. Breathe out through our mouth. Hold the breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's breathe in again through the nose. Breathe out through the mouth. Hold the breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's breathe in again through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Hold the breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathing in again through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Hold the breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's release the breath. Return to the natural inflow and outflow of your breathing. And just simply notice any softening, any adjustment that's happening inside of you. Without any judgment, just simple awareness. We'll return to our breath work by breathing in through our nose, breathing out through the mouth, holding the breath on 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathing in again through the nose. Breathing out through the mouth. Hold the breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathing in again through the nose. Breathing out through the mouth. Holding the breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's release the breath. Return to the natural inflow and outflow of our breathing. And again, just internally scanning our body from head to toe. Just noticing any shift that's happening inside of us. Again, without any judgment. This time we'll go deeper into our meditation. I'll ask you the 4 soul questions designed to help you clarify who you are, what you want, what your purpose is, and what you're grateful for. Today's soul question is, who am I? Who am I? Beyond any label placed on you, beyond your race, your religion, your culture, anything that can be interpreted by anyone else and or taken away from you by anyone else. Who are you? The next soul question is, what do I want? At the core of your being, what is it that you truly, truly want? This is your moment to make that very clear. Allow whatever responses to come to you, whether it be in the form of a sensation, an image, a feeling, or a thought. However it comes, try not to concentrate too hard on the answer. Allow the first thing that comes to mind to be what it is. What do you really, really want? The third soul question is, what is my purpose? In other words, what am I called to do? Where might I serve? Allow whatever responses to come to you, whether it be in the form of an image, a feeling, a thought, or sensation. final soul question. Is what am I grateful for? What am I grateful for? Gratitude creates an open door to receive more of the things that you're grateful for by first recognizing what you already have and showing appreciation for it. What are you grateful for? Please release the questions and answers and return to the natural inflow and outflow of your breathing, giving honor and reverence to your breath that sustains you. We'll now go deeper into our meditation. I'll introduce today's Sanskrit mantra called So Hum. So Hum. The sound of this mantra will help to relax you, release any stress that you might be feeling, and when you're able to access true harmony within your being, that also is an open door for greater peace and joy and love in your life. You'll repeat so on the inhalation and hum on the exhalation. Repeating so as you breathe in and hum as you breathe out. Please continue repeating your mantra silently, almost as though it's a faint whisper in your mind. If you notice that your attention has drifted to thoughts in your mind, sounds in the environment, or sensations in the body, I ask that you bring all of your attention back to repeating today's mantra. Repeating so on the inhalation, hum on the exhalation. So as you breathe in, hum as you breathe out. Please continue meditating. I'll mind the time and let you know when the meditation is up. Please release today's mantra and return to the natural inflow and outflow of your breathing. Resting in existence. Resting in presence. Resting in being. Existence, awareness, being. Sat, Chit, Ananda. Just rest. I'll now introduce today's intention. As I repeat the intention, silently repeat the intention with me and allow the words, the meaning behind the words, to flow through your entire body. Today's intention is loving, compassionate heart. Loving, compassionate heart. When you're ready, please place the palms of your hands together at your heart center. Extending a moment of gratitude for today's practice. A moment to honor yourself, to honor the soul that God gave you. And bowing in gratitude to the grace that's been placed upon you. When you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes and raise your head and extend the blessing. Namaste. Namaste. The light in me honors the light in you. Thank you for coming to today's mindful session. I hope that it was beneficial to you. I hope that you were able to feel loved on. I hope that you felt the love in today's session. I hope that you take that love and that it maximize it in your everyday existence. The 3 keys that I talked about today for 10xing your confidence are: number 1, own your narrative. Number 2 is mindset mastery. And number 3 is body mastery. As I mentioned earlier, today's session is a part 2, if you will, of last week's session. Both together will create in you an even more powerful existence in the way that you show up in life. Please share this meditation with people that you know, whether it be your family member, a neighbor, a coworker, a friend. The key is to get much more on these weekly sessions so that you can take that out into your everyday existence and share that message with others, and then invite those people back into this weekly session. My intention, as I mentioned earlier today, is to make these sessions so simple, easy, and effortless that you begin to apply these practices in your life and really see the benefit and become an example to others that it can be done too. The beautiful thing about this work is that it helps to transform your family. And when they see you showing up differently, you give them an idea, an example on what that looks like and what is possible for them in their own version of what that looks like. You can find me here each week at 8:30 on Instagram Live. Yes, I go live every Saturday. And for the Saturdays that I'm not able to, I do let you know in advance. As usual, your purposeful journey begins here. But before we end the session, let me give you a little teaser for what's to come next Saturday. Next Saturday, my topic will be on conscious currency. Conscious currency. I can't wait to get into that one. I'll see you next week.